Here's part two. After the install of the new audio gateway, turn the key on, unit comes on, immediately you should have audio. Immediately. So we've now got a working system. Let me go back to the back again real quick and show you what all we did here. Actually, let me close my damn garage door. There she is, man. Well, I tell you what. You guys, once you've had one of these cars, man, these old S-classes, I really have a special place in my heart for these cars. They're kick-ass, man. So, anyway, here was the bad unit. This is the Becker Model 7003 BE. And the part number on these Mercedes parts will be right along here. This is the part number, okay? This is the model number. This is your, I'm sorry, that's not right. This is what you want to be concerned about, the BE 7003. It says audio gateway, BOSE. I'm not sure what BOSE means, and you got a serial number of the unit. But this is the audio gateway. It has a couple of really important features. These are the antenna hookups. This car has like 6 antennas in it. Okay, it has a bipolar stereo, FM antenna, and some other crap, AM antenna. It even has up to 8 antennas if you have like the satellite radio and all that crap. But this is your fiber optic plug-in, as you can see. And then here, this plug on my car is unused. This goes to the phone, the tele-aid, and the phone system, I believe, which my car does not have. And then this is power and ground for the unit. Just as a reference, my car is kind of a stripper model. It has no telephone system, and it has no tele-aid or what do they call it, phone assist or something, I can't remember. So this is the way that it should all look when it kind of goes back together, okay? And here's the components again. You've got your nav unit, your changer, which goes here. And by the way, make sure you always close your door on the nav. Some of these will run your battery down if you don't close the door all the way. And then these are down here. Is where the audio gateway is, stuck way down in there, as you can see it. And what happens is, you can see it's close to the floor and it gets wet and it tanks the unit. That's what happens. If you have standing water in your tire well, which obviously is an indicator of a problem up here on your either on your seals up top or somewhere around here, you check for standing water, and most likely this gateway will be submerged. Mine was up to about 1 inch. The amp sits high enough to where it's not a problem. But this is the BOSE amplifier. It's really difficult to get all this crap jam-packed back in here because there's a lot of junk and it all has to fit in a very tight amount of space. You've got a bolt here. You've got one up in here, okay? You got one down here and then 2 here also. And I believe that's it to get the unit out. It comes out in an upper unit and then the lower unit. So the upper unit comes out first, then the lower unit comes out. But 9 times out of 10, guys, if you're getting system unavailable, this is your culprit. That is scrap, it's junk. The other thing you need to check is to make sure that you're getting power to all of your units here, okay? I want you to check all of your fuses. The following fuses are especially important. 24, 23, 22, 25, 18, and 61. Those are all the fuses on the S500 that are listed as audio fuses, okay? The most important fuses on this little picture here are shown as up here on the driver left side, again, starting here, okay? And that's what I was reading off earlier. I was reading off skip, skip, fuse, 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 skip, 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 fuse, fuse. So you can see how this is labeled. Now, there's one little catch. If you look over here on this diagram, this is what threw me off at first when I was making sure that all my fuses were in place. You can see here that this is supposed to be the USA model, okay, right here. I don't know if you can see with that glare, but it goes right here in 22. So that's a critical fuse. The ones here in yellow are the fuses that you need to check, okay, whoops. Those are the critical fuses, okay? 25, 24, 23, 22. 22 should have a 7.5 amp in it. Also, 18 is critical. So you've got 5 fuses that are in the left side fuse box on that car. I know, it's crazy. And then you also have under the seat, you have one critical fuse. I can't remember what it does, but it is part of the audio system, and that is fuse. If I can get my stupid phone to, oh my god, to focus. I'll just tell you, it's fuse 61. It looks like 61. So okay, so that's another critical one to check right there. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the left. There really aren't any fuses in for the radio system. On the left side, driver box, and then on the underside, or on the right hand side, under hood fuse box, there's no fuses in there, and there's really nothing in this this little three-way box here under the hood either, or anything under the right dashboard. Okay, all of your audio sits. There's one fuse underneath the rear seat in that little panel. And then again, 5 fuses up here on the driver's side under hood, right up by the windshield. It's kind of hard to get to, but there are 5 fuses in there that are really critical. 5 or 6, 5, yeah, 5. So check those first, man, because you need to make sure if you're not getting power to the unit, obviously it can't work. And then when you put it all back together, just be really careful. It would really suck to have done all that repair and then to try to smash all this wiring back together. This is the tricky area back here in the back, as you can see. This gets really ugly. It's okay if you leave a couple bolts out, man, don't worry about it. I mean, it's not going to kill anybody. You know, God's good, Trump is president, so don't worry about it. Just get it all back together the best you can. Take your old audio gateway and just chuck it in the trash because it's useless. So guys, I hope this has been a helpful explanation of the most optical troubleshooting for the S500. Again, my car is an 05 model. I believe they were pretty much the same from 2000 to 2005. When the 6 models came out, they changed stuff. And also, there are 2 different BOSE amplifiers for the 05 model cars. There's a cheaper one, I think. Either that or a more expensive one. I'm not sure. It does not have the fan on it. All right, so that's another thing I learned during this whole process. It has no fan. If you have, and it's cheaper, of course. It's not the one I have. I think they were about 75 bucks. The one I have is the BOSE. It has the fan, and it was about $200. But again, it's probably not going to be your your amplifier, as long as you do your homework and make sure you have power and ground on the red and brown wires here, red, yellow, and brown. Okay, the Mercedes people have made it kind of intuitive. These are the same color wires on all the audio components for power and ground. Just don't cut into this blue or this yellow wire, because if you do, what you'll do is you'll screw yourself, because these are probably the CAN bus wires. Now here, by the way, these are your speaker wires. Okay, you've got tweeter, mid, and then the big fat one is probably a sub somewhere. So if you wanted to, in theory, guys, you could actually bypass this whole damn system, okay, and chop this cable right here and run all your speaker wire. You'd actually have ignition and ground here too if you wanted. This is a 40 amp fused wire, so it's got plenty of power. And you could chop here and splice in your speakers. Now I've seen on eBay, the Chinese dudes are offering a replacement head unit for this car for 350 bucks. It's a full touchscreen Android setup that goes right in. It fits directly into the dash. And if you're just totally screwed on this deal, get that set up and try it. I have not tried it, but what they're selling is a replacement head unit that's molded to fit the size of the head unit on this car. The head unit I have, again, is this unit right here. Okay, this is the one I have. I don't know if they have one for the one that's got the small little square unit on this side and then the keypad over here, but this is the one I've got. All right, so again, they're making a totally replacement unit for that for 350 bucks. I've seen them as cheap as 320. It'll do full Android, touchscreen, backup cam. It even has a TV tuner. I mean, thing's loaded out, and it's full HD. It's pretty trick, man. And what you do is you come in here and you cut these wires, okay? You cut these and splice directly in. Now, be aware, the BOSE system in this car, these are 2 ohm speakers in all the doors. Now, that's half of a normal ohmage. at 4. Okay, so it's gonna, if you run it hard, it's gonna burn your amp up. Most amps are not 2 ohm stable. But if you want to drop an amp in here, what I would do is if you wanted to do a badass rig, is buy that Chinese head unit. It has an RCA option for $8, I think. You can have a shitload of RCA outputs, and put you a badass amp. Pull all this junk out. Put you a badass amp here that's 2 ohm stable. And you'll need some EQ, because these BOSE systems, remember, these are all optimized, crossover points and all that crap, so they need a ton of power to run them. So go ahead and you're going to have to do some EQing between tweets and mids and all that crap. So you're going to need a lot of power. You're probably going to need an 8-channel amp, something that's probably got 60 to 70 watts a channel, and then go with that cheap head unit, man. You know, go for it. I mean, why not? If you can get all the modern touchscreen gizmos, do it. I mean, and they even sell an optical interface. I'm not going to lie, that scares the hell out of me. But they also sell an extension cable for like $40 that will get you all the way back to here from the front of the car. So you'll have to manually run an intercept cable to tie into all the speaker wires. Okay. And you can also get power and ground right here too if you wanted, in theory, at 40 amps, or 40 amp fuse here. So that's pretty kick-ass, man. So anyway, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a comment. I'll try to answer anything you have about this, about the Mercedes optical system. Just remember, if your head unit powers up, okay, it's 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be your head unit, okay? If the head unit doesn't power up, then check your fuses. Make sure every fuse I told you is good. If that doesn't work, if your head unit comes on and you're getting that system unavailable shit, go ahead and start your troubleshooting. You can buy one of those little bypassers if you want. They're like $20. Start bypassing the nav first and then the CD, okay? Because if either one of these units is smoked, it'll probably cause the unit to shut off, the head unit. So start there, bypass this shit, and then double check, make sure you're getting power again, 12 volts down here. If your amplifier, I'll tell you something, if your amplifier is not on, the unit the head unit will shut off. It'll turn on and it'll say system unavailable, and it'll shut right back off. So you've got to make sure you've got 12 volts on both the gateway and the BOSE unit. So 9 times out of 10 though, it's going to be this unit right here. Okay, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be your audio gateway unit. Okay, this is it. It's $200 online. Problem solved. You can thank me later. See you later. God bless Trump.